Yo, it's Crimesight, where the criminology marries the artificial intelligence. So, London, year 2075. I'm an incredibly involved universe full of the best technology ever. Something continues to exist, seriously, cruelty. If today we can only find the criminals after the fact, this time artificial intelligence comes into play. Through a system of data analysis, it is possible to prevent murders and identify them before they happen. This has led to a 90% reduction in crime, but the remaining percentage is dominated by the dark side of the humanity. Good and evil are respectively represented by Sherlock Holmes, the famous detective loved into his are respectively represented by the Sherlock Holmes, the famous detective loved for his investigative skills, and Moriarty. The latter is the enemy to be faced, the entirety to prevent from carrying macabre authorities. However, Crimesight seems to want to attack us to the evil counterpart, rather than makes us prefer the investigation action. Before taking about in detail, let's explain what is interactive form of this new economic genre. It's probably new in the world of online multiplayer, although it wings Among Us. While its definite use it comes from the latter, however, is a strong strategic and slightly more static component of its rare gem chest to be carefully managed. The character is in effect trapped inside a villa consisting of several rooms, and it's necessary to do everything possible to survive before help arrives, as well to prevent the crime. Well, be honest, understanding the gameplay as initially was quite complex. Imagine being in front of a chessboard as anticipated before. Each character is a pawn with specific turns. Your task is to move around the villa by checking the boxes. To prevent murder, you have to analyze the behavior of each individual person, as Moriarty takes control of the potential killer, leaving suspects not always easily understood. The most important factors are two: not to go too far and therefore to be more or less united, and above all to look for a food. The villa includes points of interest. The food allows you not to be slowed down and therefore to stop the killer. Hunger in fact weakens the characters and forces him to have a reduced number of moves. Owing food means consuming in the end of the day and 3 shifts, and thus having an added advantage over a potentially exhausted killer. This won't be easy, through as you often find yourself getting murder weapons and your hunger will inevitably worsen. Well, these phases tend to make us appreciate Sherlock counterpart too much, as it could be even more confusing for a neophyte who simply tries to survive starvation rather than event the crime. Moriarty, on the other hand, is much more intriguing and satisfying. Although the killer may also weaken and experience difficulties, he has much clearer and more linear mode of action. To fulfill his purpose, in fact, he simply has to go along with 3 key factors. The first is to find the murder weapon, be it a figure, a hammer, or other lethal tools. The second requirement is that the character in the same room is a highest target, and ultimately that there is no spectators. Despite the initial construction, this gaming experience turned out to be truly enjoyable and surprising. The numerous tutorials available allowed us to first acquaint the necessary knowledge to play without difficulty. We therefore advise you to protect very calmly, since you can play exclusively online. This, let's face it, could make many people turn up their noses, but we want to reassure you, you will be the almost nil communication. So I forget the voice or written chants, because the only way to compare yourself with by sending stickers with the leftmost button. Whenever it's thumbs up or suspicious face, it's a dynamic, fast, and efficient interaction. Additionally, suspects can be silenced from the chant to prevent them from seeing your moves. What do not particularly convince us, however, there is hypothetical absence of post-launch support. If it's to be definitive version of the game, people may get rid after several hours and prefer other more challenging and dynamic titles. Its foundations are very promising, but as much as it can allow you to have fun in company, it does not offer many modes, not to mention the constantly the same settings. What differentiates the latter is numbers and arrangement on the rooms, but nothing can be favored excessive replayability. At the same time, no special investigative skills are required, as Sherlock will send a detailed report with suspicious at the end of the day. In a short, in a beautiful, fun adventure, but it may not to be competitive on the most demanding. As far as the technical aspects concerned, anime-style graphics and interactive music section help to immerse us more in the gaming experience. Also, Crimesight is localized in Italian, which is a great plus to allow us to better understand the pasta language. Just joking. It is experience that manage to involve and bring out the interesting detective is in us, observing the characters with a critical look and learning to give importance to every single gesture. We hope the title can be properly supported, possibly with the addition of the new maps and even more challenging modes. We also appreciate the PvE component, but as noted before, we multiplayer mode is by no means limiting or intrusive. Just like in a game of the chess, we may want to enjoy those 20 minutes of session and rejoice in averting a terrible crime. However, even if we weren't too consistent and kickstart the game from time to time, Sherlock would still be our trusted ally that it's always nice to come back to. Thank you for watching. The links in the description. It's already available on the Steam version. Developer and the publisher is the Konami. I was playing on my PC. Peace.